Okay, welcome back to the Mojave Gardener. Today we're going to plant some tomatillos in the backyard. I wanted to plant them in the front yard, but our neighborhood ground squirrels are digging up everything in our front yard. Everything that they can store away for winter, they're already digging up here in the spring. I lost over 100 flower bulbs to the squirrels digging them up. So they had to make a new bed in our backyard here, and we're going to plant our tomatillos in there. We'll get started here. Okay, here's our tomatillos. They're a little overgrown because we should have planted them earlier, but like I said, the doggone squirrels, they just love them. We built a new bed here up against our house. It gets sun most of the day. Just the first few hours in the morning it doesn't get anything. So we're gonna get busy planting it here in just a moment. Okay, now these things do get really big, and we're going to plant them pretty close together in here. We're going to plant them kind of deep, since these are similar to tomatoes, that if you plant them deeper they will root somewhat. So we're going to plant them probably about 6 inches deep here. We're going to pinch off any flower pods that are starting on here, so that they can concentrate on putting out roots instead of trying to make fruit. These things get about 6 foot tall and about 3 foot on either side, so we're actually going to start away from the door here a little bit. Plant a nice deep hole here. There's our first one planted, and I'll probably fast forward through this as we're doing it, so you don't have to sit here and watch us plant for the next half hour or so. Okay, we have the tomatillos planted in here. These are a purple variety, so instead of green salsa we'll have purple salsa coming off of these. So Now we'll move on to a quick update for the garden, rest of the garden for today. Okay, here we are in the corn and beans. The beans came up really nicely. And it's been about 2 weeks since our last video, since we planted these. And as you can see here, the beans came up really good. And these are a pole bean. And the corn that we planted along with it is slow coming up, probably because they were old seeds. So the corn that is up was planted a month ago. It's starting to take off. Now we did have a compost pile in this area, and if there's enough light here, maybe if I get down to it, we have a volunteer tomato right here that decided to come up. I'm not sure which variety it is, since we had 2 or 3 different varieties, and somewhere in here I thought I had another one coming up in the middle of everything, so I'll have to see if I can find it here. But we had another tomato plant coming up. Oh, right here. It's just breaking the surface right here. So it's, you have one on either end of that rope. So you can see how well the beans are doing. These will be green beans, and there's so many of them. We'll have lots to can this year, so we have stuff over the winter. Now we'll come in here to the greenhouse. We harvested all our lettuce and planted some more in the A-frame here, and it's starting to grow. Our plants up here are slowly coming along. They're doing pretty good. So our peppers, we gotta find a place to put them out. Since we've been harvesting all the lettuce, they'll probably go in where the lettuce was. And I rooted a bunch of house plants since I've been out on what do they call this, quarantine, and working from home. I brought my house plants from my office and trimmed them up and started new plants. So I have a bunch of plants to create oxygen for my little office. And then here are the tomatoes that we separated and put into pots. They are about 2 feet tall now. Getting ready to put them out here shortly into the garden. And we have our tomatoes we started from seeds, transplanted them into some paper pots, and they're really doing well. They'll probably go out in a couple more weeks themselves. There's a few more here, and I took and rooted some of the suckers off of these larger tomatoes here, and now we have 4 more of that tomato variety cloned and growing here. So things are coming along pretty good in the greenhouse. I'm going to be putting in an air conditioner in here so that we can grow lettuce year round, as it gets really hot here in the Mojave Desert. I want to keep those temperatures in here down around 70 if we can. So hopefully I can do that with a swamp cooler. Well, move on to the rest of the garden. In the rest of the garden here are, let's see, this was cabbage we put in here, and then the tomatoes are going to go out here now that are nice and tall, and we can plant them nice and deep, get more roots and more tomatoes off of them that way. So our orange tree here, I'll get you up here nice and close. You can see we had some blooms, and looks like we're getting some oranges on here now. So coming along, tree's doing better, putting out some new leaves. It's our cauliflower here, and our sunflower. This thing's going to get really tall. It's supposed to anyways. About 8 to 10 feet tall with up to an 18-inch across sunflower head on it. So I planted them at the ends of our beds. Try to attract some bees later on. And our other tree here, peach tree, it's first year in the ground, so we'll see how it does. We still have some lettuce along with our cauliflower in here, and our apple tree back there is coming out nicely. About time for me to start pruning it into the fan shape that I plan on doing it, since it's up against the fence there. It's not going to be a round tree, it'll be flat, fanning out kind of like a menorah does. And our grapes here, they're doing pretty good. We got some bunches started here and a few back in there. The wind really wreaked havoc on us yesterday. Kept trying to break these things off. We've got the rest of our garden here with, I believe this is broccoli in here. We got another sunflower, and if you can make it out here, we have another volunteer tomato coming up there. Different stuff. We have a lot of volunteer flowers coming up from the flowers last year too. So, things are coming along. We've had some warm days. It's cool now, but so they're taking off, getting some growing going. Our onions are doing really well. They're coming along. Our other apple tree here is doing pretty good. Our avocado tree is hanging in there. It doesn't know what to do. Our potatoes, we didn't get too much luck here. We had one come up here. I have some more that I'm going to be planting in here since the other three didn't come up. They already have sprouts on them coming out. And our spaghetti squash here is doing really well, getting ready to start climbing up the trellis. And if we get a closer look in here, we have some carrots growing down underneath the leaves here, and our radishes, getting ready to pick them. They're ready now, and that'll leave us room to plant some more summer stuff in there. Alright, that'll conclude our weekly garden update and the planting of our tomatillos. If you like our videos, hit the like button, subscribe, click that bell notification so that you get notified whenever we have new videos up. And have a beautiful day and keep gardening.